Has another ban wave hit the community? What's the meaning behind this month's event? And kabam, where my gold at? Yes, hello everybody, welcome back to the Marvel Contest of Champions news for Friday. We've got a lot of stories to talk about. All the things just mentioned, plus as well Tigra, the outfit she's wearing. Why is she wearing it? Because Kabam have responded to it. Because it's not exactly what we've seen in the comic books and some of the stuff that I've brought to the table when it comes to doing comic book origins. But before we get into those stories, I just want to give thanks and thank you very much to my current YouTube members, as well as my Patreons, and finally Twitch subs. Now you can give a free Twitch sub, and I'll probably have to change the way that this is delivered in future because there is a more of a streamlined way to give the resub. But yeah, on screen there are some instructions which I will be changing very soon once I've got the 411. Yo. I haven't forgotten you, loyal viewer. Thank you very much for coming back to this video as well as many others and hitting the like button, subscribing obviously with post notifications on, all as you do, and finally getting involved with the comment section. That's very kind of you to do so and support the channel as you do. Without further ado, let's get into the news, shall we? This kicks off with a bit of kind of observation and kind of like, well, I don't really like this. The fact is the new event, the Modok Island, does have a lot of scuffy things when it comes to re-rolling buffs on the bosses. Now, I've found this out in the video, and as well as many other people are commenting on this as well. Every time they re-roll, they seem to be getting similar ones to the ones that they've then re-rolled to get rid of, which, you know, doesn't really seem very fair. Now, as I've said in a previous video, it's just not something I'm completely vibing with this month's event, and I will be looking at different champions to make the event more cheesier and easier, but I've got to get that video up and done very, very soon, and hopefully we can find a few champion configurations that are going to make this a lot easier, but it's very difficult with the buffs re-rolling the way they are and being quite trollish. To be honest, based on a lot of feedback, I think a lot of players are avoiding this event as well, or at least they're doing lower difficulties to obviously give a higher threshold of coins, as obviously if you've seen my video yesterday, we'll kind of instruct as to like where your grind should be for a logical based stress-free time in this particular game mode. Next up, and what is this peculiar language up here? Well, it's not a peculiar language, it's a normal natural language in one specific dialect. Many people have kind of gone, oh, this is Japanese. Others have kind of found different translations in things like Cantonese or Mandarin. This then begins the discussion on Reddit as to what it is actually being said. So someone's saying it's Japanese, not Chinese simplified, cherry trees and samurai. That sounds like a name of a band or a song. And then obviously other people are saying, well, there's actually more language that it breaks into, like Cantonese. And it's kind of cool to see that. But yeah, I think this is very much kind of in keeping with Japanese, based on the fact of like, well, Hitmonkey is from Japan or the Japanese mountains, so I think that's obviously where things are tying in there with that story, but that's interesting to know. Next up, and a little reminder that we have some stuff on Marvel Insider. Yes, some activities are down for players to go and grab, and also those interested for the rewards, there is a Hitmonkey one which gives you a 2-star, and there is a Tigra one which gives you a 3-star. But apart from that, there's not a huge amount of improvement on this. It was a case that I think last month's Black Widow one was actually really good, and this one's kind of like, well, it's a bit average. So I think it varies month in, month out. Okay, now onto a very touchy subject, and that is Tigra and the classic outfit issue, which Kabam have actually responded to. I didn't think they would actually respond to this, but obviously there's excellent points that need to be kind of driven out about this. I've seen a few pockets of players talking about the fact that Tigra's first kind of like look, this whole kind of, well, scantily clad look, is something that isn't very reminiscent of what is in game currently. The Tigra character has had to evolve from an artistic point of view, with the very classic ones reflecting more of a, well, you could say misogynistic time. As the characters evolve from having more prevalence in the more modern take of the West Coast Avengers, you can see that the outfit has changed to be very much reflective of, again, more respectful kind of attire, especially with a lot of other Marvel characters doing the same thing and similar nowadays as well. Now, regardless of what you feel and whether or not you kind of go about this whole kind of like woke culture and things like that, you cannot argue with business. And this is how business works, and obviously this is where Kabam obviously bring you up to speed on stuff. Basically saying the designs of the champions that go into the game are reviewed and approved by Marvel, and the version of Tigra was designed in a way that best fits into the contest and the battle realm. Now, a quick Marvel Games search on Google does throw up some very interesting results, especially when it comes to Marvel Avengers Alliance, which is a game I used to play a long time ago, which the game is now dead, and as well Marvel Lego. But the other games seem to be a bit more respectful on the design side of things. Obviously, the biggest thing is being more conservative with the way that characters are depicted from a visual sense, and that could be from the ongoing relationship that Disney and Marvel have had, but that's just merely speculation. At the end of the day, it doesn't really bother me with the way that the character looks, but what does bother me is the game actually being able to run in the future, because that's the thing, the game will ultimately die if it's a case that Kabam don't follow what Marvel actually set out. So if Marvel say, do not make this character in this sense, and Kabam go, no, we're not going to listen to you, we're going to make the character anyways, then the game is at risk because they're breaching their license, they're breaching their agreement, and it could mean that yes, they'll be completely scuppered when it comes to the future. So obviously they've got to be careful about what they put into the game as much as possible. Next up, and let's talk quickly about a ban wave or a mini ban wave. Now, I did hear rumor, and I think this is really kind of targeted the MCOC services community, that a ban has been in operation at the start of this week. This seems to tie in with a monthly theme of just kind of completely wiping out a lot of these kind of like bad eggs within the community. And as you can see, this was a post from last month, which was on the early point of May. And again, I don't know what this highlights, whether or not this is people using things like BlueStacks, modifiers or mods, or kind of things that work out with arena bots, those kind of things. Or is it a case the MCOC services community has been targeted by a lot of this, and whether or not it's a case of like sharing the account with somebody, and the person that has gone in and then gone into another account who's the MCOC has then obviously kind of like got themselves royally screwed, or is it a case that is the person that has paid for the service? And that's the big thing, like who this is actually targeted. Now, even though this here is the only thing I can find that is remotely associated to it, it's just talking about it, it's not actually about it, I have heard and I have seen things which I can't 100% corroborate that there has been a ban wave. But let's be real, these ban waves are seen to be happening at the early point of every month, and I suspect something will happen in the early point of July, if people haven't learned to just make sure they do their own content, do their own grind, and not dramatically punished. Now on to our final story, and kabam! Where the gold at? Okay, so back with the implementation of alliance-based tickets, there was not so much of a lick of a mention when it came to leftovers from each individual grinds of the different type of maps. But on the subject of the fact, well, you know, people have done the grind of these different maps, what they got from the finishing point of it, and it was as follows. This was an intentional change, oh dear, but one that we let slip from our communication. It was in our comms, but somewhere in the editing process, it went missing. I'm very sorry for that. Originally, the resource return in paid maps was to offset the cost of running the map, with a significant reduction of costs to run map 6 and 7. We reduced the gold returned. For map 5, the gold received is reduced from 6,500 to 1,500. And for map 6, the gold received is returned at 7,000 to 0. With the reduction in the gold that is needed, it should already mostly balance itself out if you use an even split of resources. Command Mika goes further to respond to somebody saying, so is it considered balanced for free maps to get gold back, and for the maps paid by resources and not rewarded any return of their purchase of the tickets forced to enter the maps? Thanks for nothing as usual, Kabam. Extremely disappointed as usual. Saying basically to this has always been the case. You could get gold from maps 1 to 4 before this, but there is an investment in doing paid maps. It still comes at a very frustrating time for the game, especially with tickets being introduced, but the still thing with Alliance Quest is I don't know if it's something ongoing that I'm personally going to enjoy. At the end of the day, this is incredibly disappointing based on a communication stance. Yes, it's disappointing that you're not able to gather back resources from this, like obviously the gold as mentioned here, and obviously after time that's going to like stack up, and you know, it's going to mean that players are going to have to go elsewhere to grab things like gold. They're going to have to go into arena more often, and maybe because arena is one of the main problems that comes with the stagnation and just quality of life problems, And as well, incursions. I'm not saying there's anything bad about incursions. It just means that, you know, when it comes to a point that you don't want to do incursions, you'd rather do something else and have like different options available, that you just go, right, well, this isn't helpful. This isn't helping whatsoever. But anyway, thoughts in the comment section about this, about the gold situation from getting back from Alliance quests. In any case, that has been the Marvel Contest of Champions news for Friday. I'm really looking forward to my Thanos Gauntlet. I really want that to arrive because I really want to do the Marvel Contest of Champions news with a Thanos Gauntlet. But in any case, check out some recent content here. Check out some stuff there. Got another video coming out today, which is a little crystal opening. Hope you enjoy that and see you very soon. Bye-bye for now.